Hiya then folks, welcome to Boating on a Budget. It's me, the Tight Yorkshireman, here on Lyanda Lady, our project boat. As I'm sure you've seen on the previous episodes, we're a good portion of the way through getting this boat stripped back to the bones. We've got to finish putting this ceiling section up so we can get it out the boat, finish getting the flooring up, and then start taking this kitchen unit out. Not sure how far we're going to get. Hopefully we'll get all that done, but I'm going to crack on with all my PPE and get some work done. Oh, kettle's on as well. I might hear that whistling in a minute. That's got that cut, and we don't know how lucky we are because I got one jigsaw blade, and if I'd snapped that it would game over. Whew. Main bit at sealing out then. Clear this bit, then we can start lifting the floor, and we've got the water pumps and the water piping and things to deal with. That's all under here. Crack on. I don't think that were much good. Sorry, I said, I don't think that were much good. Need this on now. Not very good when you start pulling this out. So this is obviously the tank from the pump out toilet. So that's got to go, and that is not a job I'm looking forward to, because obviously we've got to disconnect pipes and then you just never know what you're going to find. First off though, I'll get rid of this jungle. Several pumps obviously from where the pump out toilet was, where the shower was, where the wash hand basin, things like that. We don't really know if any of these work, but what I'm going to do is take them off, and then I can just hook them up to a battery, see whether they do work, see whether they don't work, see whether we need new ones, or fingers crossed, we can reuse them. I will say, when we got the boat, all this system wasn't working. We didn't know why, and we didn't really investigate because we knew we were going to be doing this. But when I came to start taking this bit of the floor up, as soon as I caught the main pipe that comes down from the water tank, which is where it feeds into all this pipe literally just pulled off just as I caught it with my foot. So it obviously weren't fastened properly, and clearly hadn't been fastened properly for years. There's no wonder there's a bit of rust under there, and no wonder the system weren't working when it weren't even fastened together properly. Complete jungle of pipes. Get rid, start afresh. Before we take this last section of the floor up, well, the last section that will bring us down to the kitchen units anyway, just thought I'd show you this. once we took the laminate up that was by the side of the dinette, that had just completely crumbled through. So basically the floor was only supported by the fact it was laminate floor that was clipped together. Now we've got that section of the floor out more or less down to the kitchen, we can see the size of the pump out tank. Obviously it's a decent size. It does appear to be made of some kind of plastic, I'm assuming like an ABS plastic. It's not kind of a fiberglass type. So that's that, and then as we carry on down, we can see the hull itself is pretty much as expected from what we'd found down the other end when we first got the first bit of flooring up. Bit of surface rust, but nothing too alarming. However, when we get to this side of the pump out tank, we can see there, if I put the camera down so we can get the reflection just to highlight it, that bit is sat in water. And with it being a V-bottom, obviously it's all run to the centre, but I would say it's probably a good sort of 2, maybe 3 inches deep in the centre there, and that kind of runs all the way back to that bulkhead that separates the main boat from the engine bay. I do seem to recall when we first had a nosy round that down the back there, just underneath where those steps are, there is a bilge pump, but I do also seem to recall that bilge pump wasn't connected. But that's obviously what should be pumping this water out, and that water's obviously just come in through various leaks around the windows and the ceiling, which, as we said, when we first got the boat and we used it for that first weekend, we didn't really think anywhere was leaking. However, it did become apparent as we started stripping it down. It was leaking, but all that was happening is you couldn't really see it because it was soaking into things like cushions and carpet and stuff like that, and then obviously eventually making its way down into the bilge. That's basically 3/4 of the boat strip then. So I think what I'm now going to do is I'm going to clean all this lot up, scrape it all. Scraping and sanding it's like back to black in the hull. But now I'm going to scrape all this, clean all this bit up, because I think, like I've mentioned, I do like a brew and a bacon sandwich, and the minute I take the kitchen out, we ain't got a little camping stove or anything yet, so I then can't make a brew. So I might as well get all this bit clean, sorted, and then we can crack on with that in there. And there's still this tank, and I'm still not looking forward to moving that. Any volunteers? That's the first section scraped over and swept. For the first time anyway. It's definitely going to need doing at least once more, because we've got to clean all these little bits of insulation off and stuff off the sides, and then it'll all need another good sweep and clean before we start treating the metal, because we've got a product that we're going to put on that converts the rust back to a good solid metal, and then obviously it'll be overcoated with probably either a marine paint or a bilge paint to protect it before we then start putting the floors and the panelling back on the sides. Oh, and not to mention before that, I've got to strip all this lot off. And now look who's joined us. It's our Dawn, and she's doing the favourite job, making a brew. And this could be a monumental brew, because guess what job's next? Yeah, we're going to take that kitchen unit out. Obviously, I better disconnect the gas first, eh?
Yeah. No bad way to think.
So we're going to disconnect the gas, and we'll get that stripped out, which we do need to try and take out carefully, because Mick wants that put in his allotment shed. Obviously he's not having the hob and the sinks because we're going to reuse them, but he wants some cupboards, and we're all into that recycling business, aren't we? So if he can make use of them. And then we're going to get that last bit of the flooring up. Then we're going to get that water out and get this last bit scraped and cleaned up. And then the next task after that is, guess what, Dawn?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's what I'm currently stood on. The pump out tank.
That makes me upset.
Makes me upset as well. Let's have us brew and we'll consider that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll have a meeting on who's going to do it.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've turned the gas off. Dawn's cleared the kitchen cupboards out of all the lovely food. So we now can't have a brew or a bacon sandwich, but we can get this stripped out, and then she will be back to being just a shell. Let's get cracking. So here we have Dawn scraping the bottom of the boat. So just like the black in this, isn't it? Scraping away. And I've rigged up a little pump with a couple of bits of pipe to one of the batteries. And that's taking this water out the bottom of the boat. Because I think of us were aware the water should be outside the boat, not in it. Because otherwise we'll end up with a submarine, eh, Dawn?
Yeah, but we want
Hey, the submarine? I can feel a project coming on. Well, that's been quite a productive day then. Because as we can see, that kitchen unit's out. The last of the flooring's out. Obviously we'll just put one board back in just so we can put the steps in place. But I think we've done alright there, haven't we, love?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had a good day then?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant way to spend a day off, eh?
Well.
There's been a lot scraped up and a lot of rust and rotten and moulded timber took out there, isn't there?
Mm.
But yeah, so we've now basically back to the shell. If you walk down that way, you can see there's basically nothing in there, top and bottom. And if we spin it round, again, there's a very happy looking Dawn there. As we've got that out. There is, as we've mentioned a couple of times though, just one last thing that we are going to need to get out, and that's that there, the old toilet tank, which we are going to have to take the boat down to the pump out and get emptied, because we were led to believe it was empty and it's not, it's actually full. That's going to be nice, but I think for now we've had a good day. We've basically got it stripped, so I think it's time to go home and have a beer or two.
Maybe a wash.
Oh, I thought Dawn would say maybe 10 beers, but apparently she means to have a wash. But 10 beers sounds good to me. Morning then, Dawn.
Morning, Peter.
How are we today?
Marvellous.
Did you enjoy getting up on your holiday again?
Yeah?
Yeah, out of bed for 7:30, week holiday. Yeah, so today's plan then. We love a plan, don't we?
When it comes into action.
Today's plan is just finish stripping this this hull and getting it prepped, ready for the paint. So Dawn's going to go down and knock off all the last little bits of wood and give it a quick scrape over. Get them last bits of insulation off, eh, love?
Can't wait.
Yeah, and I'm going to start down this end, get that last bit of water out, scrape that last bit of floor, get them heat tiles off that protect the engine bay from the main boat, and then at some stage we'll meet in the middle. When we meet in the middle, we can have a brew. Oh no, we can't, can we? No. So we'll crack on, and we'll get this hull finally stripped. Dawn, this takes me back to my days at play school. You know, where you had one bucket with sand in and one with water, and then you weren't supposed to mix the two. You were supposed to play nicely between them. Somebody's mixed it all up here. There's sand in water.
Slop Josh.
Yeah.
Love it.
So then, the fun job, the one we've been looking forward to all day. We've got to get this tank that we've just emptied, bearing in mind it was the toilet tank.
I didn't empty it, by the way. I was tending to a fire.
We need to get it out through that door, and to make it even more fun, it's wider than that door is, so we're going to have to tip it on its side. I can't possibly see anything wrong with it. Are you going at that end or this end?
I'm one way end.
We'll give it a go. We'll probably have to stop about 10 times.
Right, so we're just standing it up.
To start with, we need to lift, and then we'll see from there. Just as we were doing this, the storage on my phone reached capacity and stopped filming. It was quite lucky though, that at that point we had basically got the tank out the boat. And from our point of view, it was even luckier that we didn't really have any dramas whilst doing it. There we go then, Dawn. All empty.
Thank God for that.
Finally. It's took a fair bit of work, hasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, if you imagine, it's actually took basically a month to empty it in terms of...
But we do work full time though, don't we?
That's what I mean, in terms of fitting it around work and what have you. It took a month to get it cleared out. But as I'm sure you can see, there's nothing left. So, that mean we're done? Or is that just the start?
I said that's the beginning.
Yeah. So, I think we'll leave this vlog here, because the next one we'll start painting the hull, getting it all nice and shiny, and we'll discuss a bit about what we're doing with the roof section. But hopefully everyone's liked this vlog, so give it the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel, because we want people to follow our journey, don't we?
Of course we do.
See what's happening. Other than that, I think that's about
I'd say it's time for a brew and a bacon butty, but...
Oh, there is no kettle.
No.
Yeah, so we'll crack on, and we'll see you next time when we carry on boating on a budget. Bye. Bye bye.